First of all, when I'm connecting, this is crazy right now. Did you lose the ex-boyfriend? Yep. Was that your ex that passed? What do you mean from high school? That would be an ex. It doesn't matter when they're from. I love how she's like. Listen, I'm like, when you come to a psychic medium, it's kind of like coming to Jerry Springer, right? Anybody who died or that was a part of your life can come through. So first of all, know that he's here when I'm connecting. Because right away when I'm connecting, his soul was here. He kept saying to me, he goes, we were once a thing. I'm like, I don't know how to say this. But I got to tell you, he really loved you here in this world when I'm connecting with him. And I know that even though he had died after the fact, meaning after your relationship had ended with one another,
Yes.
you're going to know that the souls don't just forget about you on the other side, because he tells me that you were his first love here in this world.
And he told me that a couple months before he was killed.
So that's why he's here. And you're going to know, I love this. Oh my God, I love being a medium so much. Because he says, you're telling me, oh, I don't really know if we were together. He shows me the two of you kissing when I'm connecting with him. He said to me, and you gave him his first kiss here in the physical world.
Yes.
Because he's bringing that through. And he's also, I'm not going to tell you what else I see. But anyway, long story short. Because he's also showing me the two of yous in the car when I'm connecting with him.
Yes.
He says to me this. He goes, Matt, I want her to know. He says that on the other side, he says, the one thing that I need to thank for her for, he says, is for showing me what true love was. He says, because I died without knowing it. He says, if it wasn't for our relationship with one another, because the fact that he passed tragically here in this world,
Yes, he did.
he says to me that he was not able to find love before that accident. So know that it's his way of letting you know in spirit that he's here to let you know that he's watching over you today. He says, and Matt, thank her for me, for every single thing that she had done for me back when we were kids.
Absolutely.
It's funny because he was such a jokester here in this world when I'm connecting with him.
Total.
All I smell is the silly smoke when I'm connecting with him on the other side. He says to me, and Matt, he goes, back when I was younger, he goes, oh, I'm embarrassed. He's telling me in spirit, he's like, I'm embarrassed to say this. He thought he was like a rapper or something, he shows me.
Yes, he did.
What?
Yes.
Because he's going like this to me. He shows me he's got like the hoodie on. He's got like a fake chain when I'm connecting with him. And I see him like walking like this when I'm connecting. He's like, and Matt, he goes, I had swagger, he tells me.
Yes, that was definitely him.
He says to me, but Matt, he goes, you got to know one thing. He says, what's so crazy is, and he tells me, like, I don't know if you just reconnected with some of your friend group that you all went to school with.
Yes,
perfect.
we did.
He says to me he was there, he's calling it the reunion. So he says to me he was there at the reunion with you, meaning that when you just reconnected with all of his friends and you were just talking about him and speaking about him, he says, Matt, tell her that I was there and with her.
It was at his mother's house.
Shut the hell up! Do you see how people lie? 2 minutes ago, I'm like, oh, you lost your boyfriend. I don't know. I don't know why it's coming through. Oh, that was back in high school. You were just at his mother's house. Do you see how the dead follow you? This is why I don't trust the living, I trust the dead. I'm teasing you. Know that one of the things is that this is his way of coming through and letting you know that you have a special angel that's always with you, and it's him.
Perfect.
So he wants to thank you for the love that you had given him, for the way that you just reconnected with his mom and your friends, and he wants to let you know that he was there for that. He also was telling me when I'm connecting as well, your grandfather also passed as well. Because I know that's who you wanted to hear from.
I did.
Because he kept saying to me, her grandfather's here, can you tell her this so she doesn't get disappointed, Matt? So know that your grandfather is here on the other side. And first of all, when I'm connecting with this man, this is so funny. Because souls will make me feel certain things. And when I'm connecting with your grandfather, he keeps telling me that there were leg issues before his passing here in the physical world. He talks about circulation issues going throughout his body. And he keeps going like this. Matt, look. He's like, I can move, I can walk. He says, and tell her that I'm fine.
Okay.
He says the one thing that he needs you to know as well is that at the end, there were issues with his memory before he left this world.
Yes.
Let her know I can remember her. Let her know I can remember her. He's telling me this. He says, and Matt, he says, I want to thank her for going out of her way for always being a part of my life. He says, because watching you grow up was something that allowed me to experience life all over again. And he wants to thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
It's really sad because at the end, your grandfather really hung on. He shows me that.
He sure did.
Because he just showed me visions of like his hands being blue and like his feet being blue, where like he just like started losing circulation all through his body. Because I see him, it looks like he was in some type of a recliner that they had him in.
Yes.
And I see like all blankets being piled on him because he was always cold. So he says to me, Matt, let her know that even after all of these years, he says, I have not forgotten about her. He says, I am there with her every single day. He says, she's made me so proud. He says, and what's so beautiful is I have all of my memories back on the other side. I could swear, this is going to sound crazy to you, I could swear that somebody brought cats for him or put cats on the bed for him.
That is my son's grandfather who passed in a nursing home, and in the nursing home, a stuffed cat, which I still have in my son's room, was brought to him by a loved one.
Shut the hell up.
Yes.
So know that by him talking about that, he wants to thank you for putting that cat with him so that he wouldn't be alone. And it's also his way of letting you know that he is also there in spirit as well. You know, when I'm connecting with your loved ones, it's like a conga line full of dead people on the other side. They're all here and talking. And know it's their way of acknowledging in spirit that they're always here and with you, even though sometimes you might feel like you're alone. No, it's both your grandfather's way of acknowledging they're there with your friend that you've lost, and that heaven is one place where they're all reunited.